Martha Karua, leader of the People's Liberation Party and a prominent opposition figure, has firmly rejected any prospect of engaging in talks with President William Ruto's administration, directly challenging ODM leader Raila Odinga's recent proposal for a national conclave aimed at resolving Kenya's deepening political and social crisis. Odinga, her former presidential running mate in the 2022 election, has been advocating for the formation of a national platform to steer civic dialogue and reforms in response to the wave of deadly youth-led anti-government protests. These protests have spotlighted grievances around punitive taxation, joblessness, corruption, state violence, and rising authoritarianism. Odinga envisions the conclave as a vehicle for creating irreducible reforms that would culminate in a national referendum. But Karua isn't buying it. Speaking in a candid interview on NTV, she dismissed the proposal as nothing more than a repackaging of the National Dialogue Committee, a post-election initiative she vehemently opposed. Dialogue with the rogue Kenya Kwanza administration is not an option, she stated bluntly. I want to remind my friend Raila Odinga that he went for NAGO talks, and I was against it. According to Karua, NATSO served as a distraction, a political charade that delivered nothing for ordinary Kenyans. They were supposed to last 90 days, but dragged on for a year. The outcome wasn't pro-people. It offered seats for the big boys, but nothing concrete for struggling citizens. The cost of living was the central issue, and it still is. Karua's critique wasn't just strategic, it was personal and emotional. She accused the Ruto government of dishonesty and manipulation, arguing that further dialogue would be a dead end because, in her words, William Ruto does not approach issues with honesty. It's lies, lies, and more lies. She cited the case of blogger and teacher Albert Ojwang, who died in police custody after allegedly insulting Deputy Inspector General Eliud Lagat. Karua condemned the government's handling of the incident, questioning how Lagat could remain in office while an unresolved death hung over him. What law can amend that? This is the impunity of the Kenya Kwanza regime. That's what needs curing. Her disapproval of Odinga's position goes beyond policy. Karua revealed she had personally called Odinga after the Sabasaba protests, challenging him to reflect on the moral implications of aligning directly or indirectly with a regime she accuses of brutality. I called him after Sabasaba, maybe on the 8th or 9th. I asked him, as someone who's fought for Kenyans for decades, how does your conscience sit with the continued bloodletting by this regime? She said the conversation wasn't meant to be a debate. I told him I didn't want a discussion. I just wanted to leave the question with him. Isn't it time for him to reconsider, to withdraw his support? While Odinga reportedly told her his call for a conclave had been misunderstood and proposed an in-person meeting, Karua was unmoved. I told him I was leaving for the U.S. I'm not in favor of a meeting over these issues. Ruto will use it to pacify the public, then turn around and hit them harder. Her message to Odinga, and by extension the broader opposition movement, was unequivocal. What talk do you entertain with someone whose boot is on the throat of Kenyans? I'm appealing to Raila, and I'm doing it now on this platform. Withdraw your support. Stop the bloodletting. Kenyans will find their way. Karua's refusal to legitimize dialogue with a government she deems oppressive reflects a widening rift in the opposition, particularly over strategy and principles. While Odinga seeks institutional solutions and public engagement through reform processes, Karua appears to believe that such efforts are futile without genuine political will, something she sees as completely absent from the Ruto administration. Her position is both defiant and idealistic, rooted in a belief that true change cannot be brokered through closed-door deals or temporary political truces. At a time when the country is yearning for direction, Karua's voice rings with conviction, even if it raises uncomfortable questions about unity within the opposition itself.